What's up, everybody? It's your boy Josh Showtime. It's Showtime's Fight Forum. We talk all things fights. Let's get into it, y'all. Once again, I told y'all this is a crazy fight week, one of the best combat weeks ever. I'm super upset because of all, like, legit, this is the weekend where I would prefer to be at home by myself with 3 TVs watching Bellator, watching UFC, and watching boxing. That would be like my dream weekend. But unfortunately, I'll be in New Orleans. Well, not unfortunately. I get to be with my family and my wife, and we get to be in New Orleans for a family trip. It's going to be fun. I am going to escape from them for a second and go watch these fights, but, you know, hopefully they come with me, but probably not. We'll see. And still. We already talked about boxing, so we got to talk about UFC 291. This is going to be a fun card. I mean, there's no championship fights, but the BMF title, whatever, is on the line. Headlining with probably, it's going to be fight of the year. I mean, it's kind of, unless it stops in 1 minute, it's going to be fight of the year. These guys have already fought before. It's going to be bonkers. But, hey, we got to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to do breakdown. We're going to do predictions. Also, I've said this before. All right, my streak is good. What am I like? I got like 21? I think I'm like 21-7 or something like that. I'm doing pretty well. So if you're making money off of my prediction, you know, it's only right that you cash out the brother. Just go on Showtime Sanders right there. Hey, give me a little $1 or $2, man. That's all I ask. But yeah, let's get right into the nitty gritty. So we're going to start once again. I do prelims now instead of just doing the main card because I was killing it too easily. So I was like, let me make it a little tougher. So let me just go ahead and add some prelims in there. So with this one, I'm going to add Derek Lewis versus Marco De Lama. Now, we already know when it comes to Derek Lewis is on a 2-fight lose streak. He hasn't looked good. Apparently, he came out and said that he was blacking out because he had to cut a lot of weight, which is crazy because he's a heavyweight. So it's weird to hear heavyweights that cut weight, but you know, especially not ones that are like Tyson Fury size, are like 6'9", but like Derek Lewis is like 6'4". Like, how are you 300 pounds? But yet still, he said that kind of messed him up. But at the same time, you got to also realize that Derek Lewis is getting older. His power will always be there. But at the same time, his athleticism is definitely dropping, dissipating. We have to also remember that, like, he is getting, like, finished now. So his chin is kind of wearing down. So it's going to be a tough fight for him. I can't go with him in this fight because I do think that his time has passed. I love Derek Lewis, but if he wins, we get another great interview. Perfect. But I'm going to say De Lama's going to win by submission in the first round. And, you know, hopefully Derek Lewis hangs him up and does podcasting or something. Who knows? He's a very funny guy. That's my first prediction. Now, there's a lot of fun fights within this main card. Like, so many fun fights. And I'm ecstatic for a few of them. Okay? So the first fight of the night is going to be Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland. A very contrasting of styles, and it's going to make for a very fun fight. I mean, it's pretty simple to predict how this will go. If it goes to the ground, Michael Chiesa will win, more than likely by decision or by submission. I think it's pretty fair to say that. If it stays standing, Chiesa's going to get knocked out in a couple minutes. Like, it's going to happen. I do think, like, with this, we got to remember, Kevin Holland came down from 185. Michael Chiesa came up from 155. But yet and still, they're both kind of taller fighter, a little lanky. Obviously, just one is a grappler base, one is a striker. And I do think that in this, I've always had a rule of thumb, man. If it's going to be striker versus grappler, and that striker doesn't have good grappling, normally I'm going to always go with the wrestler. And this is going to be the same case. I'm going to go Michael Chiesa by first or second round submission. And I think that Kevin Holland, this is just a bad matchup for him. And now I wouldn't be surprised right off the bat within the first couple minutes, Michael Chiesa is not as... I actually have a hard time believing it because I think Michael Chiesa knows he needs to get to the ground. But I wouldn't be shocked necessarily if he keeps it standing for too long and gets caught with a kick or a right hand and he gets slapped. But I'm going to still go Michael Chiesa by submission. Now, I do expect it to be a fun fight for a while it lasts. I don't think it'll be too boring unless Kevin Holland's submission defense is greatly improved and he, you know, stops all submission and he just gets ridden out for 15 minutes. Now, the second fight is going to be a fight that's going to be, I think, sad. It's going to be sad to watch. Now it's going to be Bobby Green versus Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson is a super shell of himself. He's not a good fighter anymore. He's not even an average fighter anymore, if you ask me. Like, that fight that he had with Nate Diaz was pathetic. I was thoroughly disappointed in the way the way that Tony looked, and him obviously giving up the submission was something I didn't foresee. So I'm not giving him much of a chance versus Bobby Green. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bobby Green's still fluid, still got good hands. He has good enough for takedown defense. Tony Ferguson's gonna get beat up. And simple and plain, it's gonna be ugly in my opinion. I think that this is gonna be a first round stoppage. Tony's gonna try to use his lateral footwork. He's gonna try to move in and out, try to do his crazy little roll dives into ankles, and then also go for the crazy elbows. But I think that Bobby's just gonna be too slick for that, and the athleticism difference is gonna be very apparent. Hand speed is gonna be very apparent, and Tony's chin is nowhere near what it used to be. He's gonna get slapped. So I'm gonna say first round knockout by Bobby Green. And if Tony wins, I will be very, very, very shocked. Very shocked. And hopefully Tony retires after this because, like I said, I just don't think he's the same fighter anymore. So third fight is gonna be it's gonna be one of those fights where while you're watching it, you are gonna hold your breath the entire time because someone can get knocked out at any second of that fight. When I literally say from 1 second until the 15th minute, there will be, all right, someone's going to get knocked out. Somebody might get knocked out. So that's how explosive these guys are. That's how powerful these guys are as far as their finishing ability. And that's Stephen Thompson versus Michael Pavowicz. Now, we already know Pierre is like by far one of the most athletic guys in the 170-pound division. Bar none, he's one of them. He used to just literally do crazy stuff just for the hell of it. He would literally just do backflips off the cage during the fight. Why? Just because he just wanted to do it. Like, waste all his energy in the first 30 seconds of a fight, literally do the Showtime kick, and the dude ain't even close to him. He'll just do it just because. And it's just because he's an exciting guy. He's dialed it back because he's conserving his energy because he's so explosive and he exerts his energy so much. And now he's been getting wins. But as far as him, he still tires out a little bit in the later rounds, but he's still explosive. He has knockout power in his hands, and also he has powerful kicks. He's a guy he's so explosive with his knees. It's a guy that you have to worry about every second of the fight because he's just so powerful. Now, Stephen Thompson, we already know, the Karate Kid. He's very explosive. He's very good at blitzing. So quick, knows how to use his hands. He knows how to get out of get out of situations, blitz and then get out. Shin's a little suspect, but yet and still, we saw versus Kevin Holland that the man can take a better punch than I personally thought he could take. I honestly thought he had a terrible chin. Now, after the Kevin Holland, I'm like, he has a chin. He can take a fight. He can get into a war. And that was probably the dirtiest I've ever seen Stephen Thompson ever get. Like, he was in the middle, just mixing it up with Kevin, landing the bigger shots. But he has power in his hands. He has the slickest kicks in the game. If it's a kickboxing match, you would love to favor Stephen Thompson, but the biggest issue will be the power. When Michael lands, because he will land, how is Stephen Thompson going to be affected? Because he also got to remember, Stephen Thompson's got to be 40. What is he, 40? 39? He's close to it. Your chin doesn't improve. And he's going against a power puncher. But he's still crafty. He still knows how to get out of punches. It could very well be a repeat of Jorge versus Stephen Wonderboy. So it's a very tough fight for me to predict personally. And I'm going to go against the grain and say that Pereira is going to win by knockout. But I would not be shocked if Stephen Thompson wins by knockout or by decision and outpoint him. Because he very well can outpoint this man for 3 rounds. I'm just going to say that he's going to catch him with something unpredictable and the fight's going to be over. But if it goes to decision, Pereira's not winning that fight. Stephen Wonderboy's going to win. But I'm picking Michael. Now we got Alex Pereira versus John Pavowicz. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at last names. John. We're just going to say John. Now, it's at 205. This is Alex's first fight at 205 in MMA, but he's fought at light heavyweight kickboxing. So it's not too big of a deal. Not to mention, he's ginormous. Like, he's huge. No, pause. He's a very, very big 185 pounder. Him going to 205 is not a big deal. He fits right in with those guys. So it ain't like he's giving up no size advantage or anything. Now, and also, he has power at 205. So The biggest issue will be whether John chooses to be a wrestler or not. If it's a kickboxing fight, I'm going to pick Alex Pereira. He should win this fight. But I think John is going to mix it up, and he will go for takedowns. And if it's as easy as I think it will be, he will win by decision. And Pereira is going to have to go back in line. But we will see. I mean, if it's a stand-up fight, it will be interesting. Because John, it's not like John was getting pieced up by Israel when they fought. So he can keep up. But I think it's a little too risky. Alex got a little bit more power than Izzy. So that's a little bit more risky. Now, the fight that everybody's going to be there for, if you're not watching the Crawford fight, will be Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier 2. We already know how the first fight went. Dustin Poirier knocked him out. If I remember correctly, that was Gaethje's first loss, too. So, redemption. Also, I mean, the fight does bring meaning. Whoever wins this fight is probably going to get a title shot next. So, it's a very important fight. Who cares about the BMF? So, we have to acknowledge Justin Gaethje's gains. He is a completely different fighter. I'm going to say completely different, but he is definitely a different fighter from the first time they fought. Dustin Poirier is a better version stylistically. I think athletically he's probably dialed it back a little bit. But as far as technique and hampering down on the nuances of his boxing, I think he's gotten better. And even just by basing that off of, we could just go off of his fight with Conor. Like his judge of distance, his accuracy, his shot selection has all improved. And I would say damn right he's way better than the first time they fought. Justin Gaethje is a lot more patient. He's willing to get into wars, but he's not as willing as he used to be. He used to just honestly say, hey, we're going to throw Hayes and we just going to go at it. Now it's like, we can do that, but I'm going to kind of pick my shots a little bit better now. I'm going to go for my leg kicks. I'm going to throw bombs when I can. He's still defensively not sound, but you can say the same for Dustin Poirier. They both still get punched a lot. They both eat a lot of strikes. So it's still going to be a hell of a fight. I think it's not going to be as entertaining as the last one, but it's going to still be a great fight because that's all they ever do. I don't know if their chins will last. I mean, they've been through wars ever since. They both fought Michael Chandler. One has fought Conor. I mean, they both fought Charles Oliveira. They've both been in fights where they gotten beat up pretty well. So I don't know. I hope that we can get a good 3 to 4 round war, but this isn't going to decision. These guys, they punch too hard, they kick too hard, and at the end of the day, they're a little worn down from damages from the past. So someone's going to get knocked out. Who's going to get knocked out? I'm actually going to say Justin Gaethje is going to get this dub. I do think that Dustin Poirier is the slicker and more crisp striker. I think the power still lines with Justin Gaethje. And I think Justin is going to clip Dustin, and he's going to get the job done by being more patient and selecting his shots and clipping Dustin, and Dustin's going to get knocked out. I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, either way, because these guys are very close to, in my opinion, as far as skill set. But I'm going to go Justin Gaethje in this one and by KO. Tell me what you guys think. And once again, this is probably the card that I'm least confident about in a while. I'm not super confident about pretty much any of my predictions, except for I probably say the one I'm most confident in is probably the Michael Chiesa. But the other ones, no, I'm not that confident. Like anything can happen. Well, I'm sorry. I'm really confident about Bobby Green. Bobby Green is sleeping. It's going to happen. Every other one, I'm like, I can see the other person winning. That's the only one I'm like, that's pretty easy. But y'all tell me what y'all think as always. But as always, man, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. As always, it's your boy Showtime. We out. Be blessed.